Markets close in mid. Sensex ends the session at 3-week low as rate hike years low, down 167 points. Nifty loses 49 points. Rupee ends at 62.51 against the US dollar. Leading by example, Petroleum Minister Moily to travel by public transport every Wednesday starting October 9th to conserve fuel, asks his officials and PSUs under his ministry to follow suit. Bringing Himalayas to the world, government launches 7077 Incredible Indian Himalayan campaign on World Tourism Day. Hopes the new campaign will bring the Indian Himalayas on the world tourism map. And search engine Google turns 15, celebrates with an interactive doodle, also overhauls its search algorithm to cope with the longer and more complex queries. Hello and welcome to Doordarshan News. I am Siddhant Sibal and you're watching Business Wrap, your one-stop destination to all the business news of the day. Starting with the top story, sometimes symbolism is more important than anything. Leading by example, Oil Minister Veerappa Moily has said that he will travel by public transport every Wednesday beginning October 9th as a part of fuel conservation drive. The fuel conservation drive aims to save $5 billion in oil import bill, and this rule is applied to Petroleum Ministry officials as well as PSUs under his ministry. So, ONGC, OIL, GAIL, IOC, BPCL, HPCL and EIL employees will have to use public transport. Meanwhile, Petroleum Minister also hinted at cut in petroleum prices due to strengthening of rupee.
Rupee appreciates, yes, because it has gone up because of the rupee depreciation.
We are joined by our oil correspondent Abhishek Jha on the whole issue. Hello Abhishek, can you just tell me what kind of message does the oil minister wants to send to the larger public in general?
Is actually coming with are in a series of earlier steps that the ministry has been taking in order to curb the consumption of petroleum products in the country, because this petroleum import has been a very big burden to the CAD and to the economy. So the country needs to reduce it, and this cannot be reduced by just consumption, because the need it is not going to come down. But the ministry has been emphasizing to avoid the wastage of this precious product, which is very precious, and which we have very limited resources in our country, and we have to be dependent on import. Like almost 75% of our petroleum products are imported from foreign countries, which gives almost $80 billion of dent to our forex reserve. So in order to curb that and to limit that, the ministry is trying to go in a very mega campaign how to limit the wastage of these petroleum products.
But Abhishek, the Petroleum Minister recently launched a mega conservation drive. What was the response on that?
Okay, Siddhant, just to tell you that this is a very nascent stage as of now. But yeah, PCRA, the government's agency for petroleum conservation and awareness program, they have been working towards awareness and different aspects of avoiding and wastages of fuel in various of like in domestic products, in vehicular production, vehicular emissions. They have doing their bits. But now this year, the ministry is trying to spend almost 45 to 50 crore rupees, and it is expected that with every single % of reduction in petroleum consumption, country could save $800 million. So this would go a very long way if there is an awareness among the public, especially especially it has come from in some studies that 62% of our consumption are in through bikes. So Mr. Moily and the ministry is trying to make aware youths. They are trying to go with this some social networking sites. They have also designed some app which will be used in the smartphones. They're actually addressing this awareness campaign and targeting the youth. Okay.
So Abhishek, will you be using public transport after Mr. Oil Minister's drive to use public transport every Wednesday starting October 9th.
Okay, Siddharth, just to tell you that I anyway use public transport because I think that it not only gives less congestion on the road, but it also adds up to your pocket money, which ultimately benefits you.
And last question, the oil minister met journalists today. He hinted at cutting the prices of petrol and probably diesel. What's the take on that?
Okay, so it has been a must-talk subject in the past because the diesel subsidy, which has been denting much of government's subsidy burden, which has actually puts a lot of subsidy burden on the government. It has been a deregulated commodity for some times, where many oil marketing companies were given this mandate to increase this diesel periodically by 45 to 50 paise almost every month. This has been there, but then it was talked that government can go for some big ticket hike because of the international crude prices which had actually soared to some 118 or 120
okay,
level.
Abhishek, we probably have to now wind up on that. Thank you so much, Abhishek. Now coming to markets, the markets closed in red today. Sensex closed 160 points down at 19,727 levels, while NSE Nifty closed down 49 points at 5,833 levels. Banking realty stocks declined after Reserve Bank of India Governor Raghuram Rajan said that RBI is still worried about high inflation. Capital goods, metals and mining stocks also declined. Meanwhile, oil and gas, IT and healthcare shares gained. Losers on the chart were BHEL, Tata Steel, Bharti Airtel, Hindalco, ICICI Bank, which were down by between 4 to 3%. Gainers on the chart were led by Hero Honda, Sun Pharma, Coal India, TCS, Jindal Steel, which were up by between 2 to 1%. On to rupee, the rupee ended at 62.51 versus the US dollar, down 44 paise or 0.71%. On to global market, Asian stocks rose after US jobless claim unexpectedly fell and Japan's inflation accelerated to the fastest pace since 2008. Key benchmark indices in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Indonesia, Singapore and South Korea rose by between 0.20% to 0.56%. Japan's Nikkei average fell 0.26%. Meanwhile, European stocks edged lower on Friday. Key benchmark indices in UK, France and Germany were down by between 0.44% to 0.69%. Time for a short break. Lots more on the other side.
सीमेंट सस्ता नहीं सबसे अच्छा।
सर्विस टैक्स नहीं भरते हैं? मुझे पता नहीं आपको पता है कि नहीं पता, लेकिन सर्विस टैक्स नहीं देना जुर्म है। भारी पेनल्टी लग सकती है और जेल भी हो सकती है। अब सर्विस टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट ये कह रहा है कि आपने टैक्स नहीं भरा है तो आप ले लो लड्डू। सर्विस टैक्स VCS एक्चुअली लड्डू है। नहीं भरा तो आप भर सकते हैं बिना पेनल्टी, बिना इंटरेस्ट और इंस्टॉलमेंट में भी। आप बता दिए, बाद में मत कहना पता नहीं था। मिल रहा है खा लीजिए, बाद में पता नहीं रहे ना रहे लड्डू।
VCES सर्विस टैक्स भरिए, नई शुरुआत करिए।
Today in our special, we will discuss the big shale gas revolution. It's redrawing the energy map of the world. Oil Minister Veerappa Moily has called it as a game changer. Some call it as the biggest energy innovation of the decade. Is the shale gas revolution? Yes, today we will put focus on this. What it is and can it make India energy self-reliant? It's termed as the newest revolution in the energy landscape, the shale gas revolution. Until now, America is leading this revolution. So much so that the country will be energy independent in a very near future. And talk about Middle Eastern oil, well, the United States bill for oil imports is set to fall from a peak of $335 billion in 2008 to just $160 billion in 2020. Keen to emulate the American boom, more than a dozen countries around the world are currently exploring for shale gas hydrocarbons or moving in that direction. The government on Tuesday approved the long-awaited shale gas and oil exploration policy. According to the US Energy Information Administration, India could be sitting on as much as 63 trillion cubic feet of recoverable shale gas reserves, equivalent to about 20 years of country's gas demand. As per the available data, 6 basins, Cambay in Gujarat, Assam Arakan in northeast, Gondwana in central India, KG onshore in Andhra Pradesh, Kaveri onshore and Indo-Gangetic basins hold shale gas potential. Production requirement and profile for shale gas oil and gas is different from conventional oil and gas. Shale gas production requires hydraulic fracturing technology, but questions have been raised about the technology. Meanwhile, the government's policy initially permits ONGC and Oil India Limited to explore shale gas resources from on-land blocks that were allocated to them on a nomination basis before the advent of the new exploration leasing policy in 1999. The government is planning to launch its first auction of shale gas block by 2013 end. But production from shale gas remains a long way for India. Business Desk DD News. And on your screen right now are the places around the world where shale gas reserves are found. 48 shale basins in 38 countries. The information is by the US Energy Information Department. Clearly, you can see on your on the screen right now that Europe, US, Canada, China, India, Pakistan, and Brazil have huge shale gas reserves. We are joined by Jyoti Mukul, energy editor, Business Standard. Ma'am, welcome to Doordarshan News. Ma'am, my first general question: can India emulate the American shale gas boom?
Well, it's too early to say that, especially because in India, shale gas exploration on a large scale is yet to begin, though there have been some pilots which ONGC and Coal India have done. And also the challenges in front of India are very different from what it's there in US. So, we can't really compare the two countries as far as shale production, shale gas production or tight oil from shale formations are concerned at the moment.
But talking about what do you think that the government should do so that the shale gas revolution can take place in the country?
Well, a beginning has already been made with the CCA deciding last week that earlier this week that the government owned companies ONGC, OIL can do the exploration in under the existing petroleum exploration licenses which they have, the areas under which these licenses are operational. They can do the exploration right now. So, what is however being criticized is that why has the government opened it for only government owned companies and not private
the government
companies?
has come out as saying that it wants the private players also into it, Reliance,
yeah.
and probably it will go for auction by the end of December, I believe. Do you think the response will be good by the private industry, given the fact that there are problems when it comes to extraction of shale gas in India, as you said, as you mentioned in the beginning, that there are different problems when it comes to America and India, especially land also?
See, my reading of the situation is that the government went in for this piecemeal kind of a shale policy because it wanted to play safe. So, when you give the when you agree to give the rights to public sector companies, the opposition and the criticism probably is anticipated to be less. But and these licensing areas are where these companies are already operational. So, the amount of exercise involved probably would be less in as far as getting into an agreement is concerned, taking permissions.
But will you call it a piecemeal or step-by-step approach by the government? Probably it wants to see that what the government companies do. If expectations are good, probably then it just might invite the private players.
See, initially the proposal was to have a bidding round. We have been hearing of a bidding round for quite some time. But I guess the whole though there is a need for more energy sources in the country, India's biggest channels as far as shale gas exploration and production is concerned is land and water. Now, water to some extent can be tackled through technology, but land acquisition can be a very big issue, and currently government already for various reasons has been criticized, is being criticized for various other things. So probably it wanted to play safe and let the PSUs do the thing. We already have private companies like Reliance Industries already doing some kind of a shale operations in US along with their partners
Talking
there.
about private companies, Indian private companies who are in US, where do you see the scope for them in the whole US energy boom which is taking place in the shale gas sector?
See, we have Reliance Industries, of course, in US doing shale business, and we also have government companies, OIL and GAIL there. Now, the whole idea of these companies is to gain experience in shale gas exploration and production rather than actually making some commercial benefit at the moment.
Ma'am, my last question is on the problems when it comes to the extraction of shale gas. There are apprehension, and first is the environmental. Do you think that these apprehensions are justified? Do you see some kind of environmental problem when it comes to extraction of shale gas? I've heard that France has banned shale gas exploration primarily because it sees it as a big concern for the environmental.
Yes, of course, environmental concerns are very big, and especially in a country like India, which is more densely populated than, say, in United States, where land holdings are bigger. The owner of the land gets a share in whatever natural resource or mineral oil is produced from his land. Unlike India, where the land holdings are very small, people have no right to the natural resources which are discovered and produced from their land holdings. So the challenge, of course, in India would be bigger.
Thank you so much talking on that, the whole shale gas revolution. Let's see what the future holds in this sector for India. That's all in today's special discussion on shale gas. Lots more on the other side. Time for a short commercial break.
सॉरी
पापा।
हाँ बेटा।
थैंक्स।
थैंक्स किस लिए?
मेरे नए कंप्यूटर के लिए।
कंप्यूटर?
हाँ, अब आप गाड़ी 45 से 55 किलोमीटर की स्पीड पे चला रहे हो, जिससे हम हर साल अपने फ्यूल बिल पे 25,000 तक बचाएंगे। मतलब रिया का नया कंप्यूटर पक्का। बात तो एक ही है ना।
45 से 55 की स्पीड पे गाड़ी चलाएं और सालाना 25,000 रुपए तक बचाएं। Brought to you by PCRA in public interest.
साथी चाहे कुछ भी कहे, जो कॉन्डम का साथ न छोड़े वही है मुकद्दर का सिकंदर।
Welcome back after that short commercial break. The JPC has adopted the report on 2G spectrum scam with 16 votes in favor and 11 against. The report, which gave a clean sheet to Prime Minister and then Finance Minister Chidambaram, indicted Telecom Minister A. Raja. Moreover, the report completely rejects CAG's allegations and revenue loss to exchequer theory. Further, it states that the then NDA regime had caused a loss of 40,000 crore to the exchequer due to its faulty policies in the telecom sector. Joint Parliamentary Committee was set up in March 2011 to examine the matter relating to the allocation and pricing of telecom licenses and spectrum. The term of the JPC was recently extended till the end of the winter session of the Parliament. On to tourism. Today is the World Tourism Day. The day aims to foster awareness among the international community of the importance of tourism. Tourism today is a $1 trillion sector involving the movement of over 1 billion tourists a year and around the world, and another 5 to 6 billion domestically. Bringing Himalayas to the world. Government today launched 777 Incredible Indian Himalayas campaign. The Tourism Ministry hopes that the new campaign will bring the Indian Himalayas on the world tourism map. Remember, 73% of Himalayan range lies in India. The Adventure Travel Association of India is collaborating with the Ministry of Tourism in this campaign, and they have designed special adventure programs running over next 777 days.
After decades of playing second fiddle to Nepal and Bhutan, despite the fact that 73% of the Himalayas lie in India, the Ministry of Tourism has scaled up efforts to promote the mountain range through its campaign 777 Days Incredible Indian Himalayas. The campaign was officially launched by the Tourism Minister in New Delhi on the eve of World Tourism Day. The twin objective of the campaign is to attract more foreign tourists during the lean summer season and at the same time remind the world that a major part of the Himalayan range is in India. It also aims to make Indian Himalayas into a 365-day destination for the travelers and bring it on the world tourism map.
Through this campaign, we want to create a new awareness about our nation's biggest asset, the Indian Himalayas. The Indian Himalayas themselves are a complete destination which can be explored around the year for a variety of experiences.
The campaign will not only promote the Himalayan state.
Well, news just coming in on a statement by Rahul Gandhi on the ordinance issue. Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh has reacted. We are joined by our correspondent Mayank Agarwal on that. What is the response by Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, who is on a visit to US on the whole issue?
The Prime Minister, who is in Washington, has just issued a statement clarifying the ordinance which has been cleared by the Cabinet Committee pertaining to the Representation of the People Act. I will just quote this statement. The ordinance cleared by the Cabinet pertaining to the Representation of the People Act has been a matter of much public debate. The Congress Vice President has also written to me on the issue and also made a statement. The government is seized of all these developments. The issues raised will be considered on my return to India after due deliberations in the cabinet, unquote.
So now you expect the whole action to take place when Prime Minister comes back from his US visit?
Yes, certainly. In the statement, the Prime Minister has made it very clear that the government is seized of all these developments and the issue will be considered on his return to India.
Okay, thanks so much on that news from US. That was Mayank Agarwal, who is accompanying Prime Minister's delegation to US. On to our next story. Google is celebrating its 15th birthday with an interactive doodle based on Mexican piñata. The doodle challenges the user to release as many virtual sweets as possible by hitting a star-shaped piñata with a stick. And surely it's addictive. My colleagues were at least addicted to it since morning. Meanwhile, the search engine has also created Google in 1998. A search of Google in 1998 will show you how the site looked in the launch year. Meanwhile, September 27th is not actually the birth date of Google. The company was incorporated on September 4th, 1998. However, Google started celebrating its birthday on this date in 2005 after it was ranked to be the world's best search engine with the highest number of web pages. Google also has overhauled its search algorithm to better cope with longer and more complex queries it has been getting from web users. The company launched its latest Hummingbird algorithm about a month ago, and it is currently affects 90% of the world's searches by Google. Google is trying to keep pace with the evolution of internet usage. On to repeat headline now. Market close in red. Sensex ends the session at 3-week low as rate hike fears loom, down 167 points. Nifty loses 49 points. Rupee ends at 62.51 against the US dollar. Leading by example, Petroleum Minister Veerappa Moily to travel by public transport every Wednesday starting October 9th to conserve fuel, asks his officials and PSUs under his ministry to follow suit. Bringing Himalayas to the world, government launches 777 Incredible Indian Himalayas campaign on World Tourism Day. Hopes the new campaign will bring the Indian Himalayas on the world tourism map. And finally, search engine Google turns 15, celebrates with an interactive doodle. Also overhauls its search algorithm to cope with longer and more complex queries. That's all in Business Wrap today. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.